Only one kid in history had ever attempted what Benny was about to. And he got eaten. So we were worried. Real worried. Even when Benny brought out the secret weapon. Shoes guaranteed to make a kid run faster and jump higher. PF Flyers.
We can't let him do this, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is the Slate Laced Podcast. Blair, how we doing?
Good.
What?
I mean, I
Yeah?
was disappointed in you not knowing the movie quote, but
Yeah.
that's all good.
Yep. Don't know the obscure one.
So
But-
wait,
go ahead.
hang on. So before we get started, I just want to clarify something because, you know, we grew up in the same household, and there's some movies that you've seen more than I have. You would agree that you've seen Clock Stoppers more than me, correct?
Probably, yep.
Okay. So if I quote the movie, you're supposed to know it, correct?
Guess not, because I didn't know this line.
Yeah, but we used to joke all the time as kids saying that specific line.
I don't remember. Hence why I didn't know the line. But anyway, I'll have to revisit Clock Stoppers.
Shout out Clock Stoppers.
But-
that was, you know, we saw that movie.
No, for sure. It's a good film. Yeah. I think it's on Prime for free right now. or
Oh, for
something.
real?
Yeah, something like that. It's on Prime or
Damn.
something I have. Tubi. I'm not sure which one, but it's on there for free. What? What's funny about Tubi? Tubi's fire.
No one really messing with
I
TV.
do. I got the app. Where I got Tubi at?
Dang.
Tubi and Pluto.
Pluto's my go-to though, because I got Andy Griffin on religiously.
Pluto fire.
Pluto
Shout-
got
shout out
Andy Griffin playing 24/7, so you know I got Pluto for
Yeah,
sure.
shout out to the obscure networks, keeping it real, letting us watch these movies. I feel like if a movie is over a certain amount of years old, though, they should just throw it on there for free. Because,
Yeah.
why can't I just pull up,
Yeah.
Man, I forget. I'll be looking up a bunch of stuff.
Johnny Cap back on board. you
Johnny
know?
Capalala, just stuff like that. I'll be trying to get, just look up. And even TV shows, man. We should just be able to get right into it. But shout out to HBO Max, because they're slowly becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They got a lot of heat on there. They drop a lot of the feature films, too, pretty quickly on there. I just finished up The Newsroom, a show that I've seen
I
a
thought
while
you saw
ago.
the newsroom in the past. Yeah.
I seen it a while ago, but revisited it. Just kind of when I was growing up, one of the reasons why I wanted to get into journalism was for that movie. Then I got back into Euphoria, which is
People love that Euphoria.
wild ride. I had seen season 1, but I'm just now getting to season 2, even though it's been out for several months. But yeah, I mean that show is out of control. What else? I was looking at the House of Hammer, which was the Army Hammer's scandal. Yeah, it was just looking back at his family. But Army Hammer was in Call Me by Your Name. He was the older gentleman. Not Timothy Chalamet, obviously, but the other one. But yeah, you didn't hear about his little scandal? He was eating people, he was a cannibal, and sexually assaulting women. Yeah, it was crazy. So you didn't know. But anyway, his family, it's a long line of just domestic abusers, but they're also filthy rich because they're I forgot what their company is, but it's Hammer and something like that. But yeah, they have
Arm and Hammer?
Yeah, Arm and Hammer.
What?
They own a bunch of oil companies. That's him. Yeah, that's his great grandfather. So he's filthy rich, and yeah, they're all crazy. The great grandfather was beating up the it's crazy. So
He was eating people.
he does that, but I don't know if he really be eating people. But that's that's his fantasy. That's his sex fantasy. I want to bite.
That's crazy.
I want to bite you and eat you. Yeah, so he says that and made women a tad bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Dang.
But anyway, I was watching that. Yep. And a bunch of other good stuff. So check out HBO Max. Unfortunately, Blair doesn't watch not reality, well, any reality TV either. But also, yeah, but also he doesn't watch a lot of various shows, so we can't talk about a lot.
It's hard. It's hard.
It is because
it's time to do.
We
nothing.
don't, and there's so much. Like you can't possibly catch up. But some that I like, Ozark, obviously, I got to get back into that. I know Legend. If he was here, he'd be talking about that because Ozark was fire.
People always go off about Ozark.
Yeah, I got to get into the last season. That's another thing I put off. House of Cards, obviously, is phenomenal. We're naming all the questionable characters, because Frank Underwood is played by Kevin Spacey, who also, yikes, can't mention him.
Yeah. I like him so much, too.
Yeah. And then just The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, those are both just really good. Midnight Mass, all those good things. But anyway, we're not here to talk about TV. We're here to talk about movies. And we're talking about Blair. Go ahead and intro it, because this is your field today.
No.
Yeah, I don't see.
Okay, so look.
I'll get into the synopsis, but tell them what we're doing.
All right,
Which film we reviewing today?
Today we're going to review...
We gave you a hint
Spider-Man.
last week. Yep.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes, sir.
So, this is one of the movies that I've been excited for a while. I remember back in 2017, right? When the first one came out. And I caught it in theater. Like I said, this was before we even had A-List. So I was watching up the street up here. It was like the last showing of the night. I was in there by myself, like maybe two other people. And I remember watching, I was like, dang, this was movie of the year. And that's how I felt. Like I was like, dang, 2017, that's movie of the year. There's not a better movie that's going to come out. And so I was like so thrilled, and then all of a sudden they kind of like announced that there's going to be Into the Spider-Verse, which is basically the second one, right? And ever since then, like, I'm just like talking about it with everybody. And so to be completely honest, this is one of the more anticipated movies for me that I've seen in quite some time, right? Because the last movie that really had me like that was Us. Where like I was just like, I gotta see this movie, like I'm talking about it, I can't wait, I'm going on the first day. So yeah, we got Into the Spider-Verse. It's the second coming, right? It's the second film of Spider-Man, the animated, and yeah, we have a character who is diverse, where he's half black and half Hispanic. Yeah, that's
all right.
Yeah.
Let me get into the synopsis. Miles Morales catapults across the multiverse where he encounters a team of super people charged with protecting its very own existence. When the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero. And it is written by Phil Lord and directed by Joaquin Dos Santos. Also, I realized that I think I've been forgetting to do writer or director, so we'll get back into that.
Have you?
No? Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, it is starring the voices of Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Brian Tyree Henry, Luna Lauren, Jake Johnson, Oscar Isaac, Jason Schwartzman, Issa Rae, Daniel Kaluuya, Karan Soni, Mahershala Ali, Amanda Lestenberg, Jarrell Jerome, Andy Samberg, Rachel Dratch. So as you can see, you got a bunch of voices in there. They are noticeable. Like some of the more distinct voices are very noticeable. So that was kind of cool to see who was voicing this, because I didn't really look into, other than seeing people on Instagram and following actors who were in it, I didn't know what other voices would be appearing. So that was kind of cool, not going to lie. Blair, you gave us some of your initial thoughts, but
yeah,
let's get a little more into it. Like, I know you're excited, but did you think it was going to be better than the first? What's up?
So this is one of those films that requires a lot of effort, and a lot of effort gets put into them, right? What you'll kind of notice is that animated films, when they have high budgets, traditionally, right? Like, because obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but traditionally they get executed and done really well, especially in Pixar. This is not a Pixar film, right? But for the most part, an animated film that has a high budget usually gets done well, right? So for me, I thought it was going to be this one. The last one was that. right? You know, you go down the line, you say The Incredibles, you say Up, you say Toy Story, you say Finding Nemo, right? Like Coco, you know, you just go down the list, right? And if there was money sunk into this, chances are it was gonna be good, right? And so that just straight comes down to story. And so, you know, I'm like, all right, like I already know this is gonna be good, right? Like I'm not gonna waste my money, I'm not wasting my time. I know when I sit down, they're gonna blow me away. Like somehow, some way, they're gonna do something, and I'm gonna be roped in, right? I was already in love with the poster, right? The poster is so dope. Have you seen the poster? Mm-hmm. It's the one when he's with the girl and they're basically upside down chilling, which is literally a direct screen cap from the film, right? Because it happens in the film.
See that New York skyline?
That New York, yeah. But it's just so creative, right? Mm-hmm. Because you think about all the previous Spider-Man, right? You think about Tobey Maguire when he has to kiss with Mary Jane upside down, right? So you kind of like see that and the play on with that. Just the advertising, like I said, around the city, I was so excited to go see this. And yes, I do like animated films, but like I say, I love films, right? Yeah. And so if it's good, guarantee I'll be in that seat and I'll be watching.
Yeah, unfortunately, I gotta kind of bring the mood down a little bit. I know the weight that these films carry. Spider-Man, anytime you say that, Marvel, it's a movie that's going to do very well at the box office. It's a movie that's going to get several million people out of their seats, waiting in line, going on opening day. Mm-hmm. But as you guys know from several of these episodes, I think we're on number 90 now, or if not 89, we're right there. Not a superhero gal, not a men in tights flying around the city gal, not a Marvel gal. I think the one I liked was the Black Widow, and it was only because they had like the two heavy hitter women in it, Florence Pugh, Scarlett Johansson, I think Rachel Weisz was in it, and it was kind of a different take. That one I actually surprisingly really enjoyed, but again, it gave us more of a story, you know, it was more of a drama, a family dynamic to it, you know. So you guys know this is not necessarily my thing, but I went out and watched it because that's what we do here at the Slate Laced Podcast. We watch films and we review them, regardless of personal bias. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had to get to that seat. Was not excited.
You had to. But I watching all these other crazy movies. But
I sat down in it. Yep. And boy, have we watched some bad ones though. Mm-hmm. We gotta one day compile some of the ones we were just like.
We've seen over these 90 episodes. Yeah.
What were we watching?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, a couple things. Those Netflix ones, man, was some doozies. I think something may be happening or something. I think I must be leaving.
Mm-hmm. I think I must be going.
The one with Amanda Seyfried in the house, and we was like
messing with that one. I still gave some positives.
You liked that one, but you didn't like the one with the house. The Amanda Seyfried one.
Yeah, the house one.
You know what I'm talking about. But you didn't like that anyway. But anyway, to bring it back here, I just wasn't excited, but I know what the weight of it is, so I had to take it serious. Mm-hmm. I had to take it serious in my review and be as objective as possible, just because this is not necessarily my thing. Like, I had to come in with an open mind, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose, hashtag Friday Night Lights. So, that's what I did. Blair, should we get into some of the good here?
Start with the good, okay.
Yeah, we're starting out with the positives here, without spoiling things, because obviously this is just kind of like a review for us. We can maybe deep dive it a little later, revisit later, but without spoiling, what? Give me some of the positives.
Extremely entertaining. From beginning to end, you are locked in, you're roped in, you're hanging on to every moment. What I really liked was the intro, right? Mm-hmm. It was a longer intro, but the funny thing is like I'm watching and I'm like, yep. And then like right after the scene, and I was like, and we are now starting the movie. And then sure enough, bam, there goes the credits. I was like, I just knew it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like it's important to introduce certain things, right? And it's all about how you do it. And what I really love about this Spider-Man, which is, I guess, setting up for so many films, I guess, right?
That's one thing Marvel ain't gonna do. Just make one.
It's not.
They're not gonna be one and done.
But the thing is,
also I like The Incredibles. Duh. But go ahead.
Yeah,
but that's not Marvel.
We went
that's an animated superhero thing I like. Yeah, and Toy Story. But go.
We saw that as kids. In the theater. What I really enjoy is good film, and what they're very successful at is being creative and still working the storyline and making sure that there is a real story right with it, whether or not it's what you've seen before, right? Like, you still get the main character in love with the lead female who, you know, he maybe shouldn't be with, or she's not going to be into him, but he's into her and he's trying to do everything to get her and he's so infatuated with her, right? Like, that storyline doesn't change, right? But it's like how you move the pieces around on the chessboard, right? And it's how you dress it up, right? You know, you put a tank top on it, you put a fitted on it, you do different things with it, right? And boom, right? Like, it's entertaining. And so, man, the way that they approach these things are so entertaining, right? And so incredible. What I really like is the various like types of style that go into the film, right? So you'll watch the film and you'll see a different Spider-Man that's like a Lego, right? So that has literally nothing to do with the 3D animation that we're watching, right? And then all of a sudden they bring out like a Spider-Man that's painted, right? You know, and you're just like, dang, okay. And then you get a random like live action Spider-Man in there, right? Like, there's so much that they're just incorporating that if someone had explained it, you know, like, hey, so you're going to watch this Spider-Man and you're going to see this, and that. You'd be like, yo, that is crazy. I don't know if I'm going to watch that. That just sounds all over the place. But it's not all over the place because they have it dialed in. You know, the storyline is on point, right? So you pretty much can sell anyone anything if the story is locked in. So we got good story. We have great style. We have, you're captivated, you're locked in, you're interested, you know, heavy suspense, right? And we're in love with a character who is vulnerable, who is trying to always make the right decision, whether or not he does it, right? And so you have all of these positive things that are happening, and they just kind of all to come together, and they just make magic.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on those points, but I would add that one of the main things I like is you don't have to be like a Spider-Man head to come in and enjoy it. Like, right. It's a well done movie for like the casual viewer. Mm-hmm. You're going in, you don't even need to know kind of what, other than the man's name, you don't need to necessarily know what happens in the movie prior. Mm-hmm. They kind of catch you up anyways as you go along. So it's great for the casual viewer. You don't need to be super locked into Spider-Man history. Mm-hmm.
Like with some of the other ones you do.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much all the other Marvel movies you need to go back and watch because, people dying to come back to life. Like, it's not the case in this one. It's a real nice casual view. Mm-hmm. I like the family dynamic of this. Mm-hmm. The family values that they're instilling, like kind of what Miles Morales stands for. Mm-hmm. And the diversity is obviously nice to see. I mean, this is one of the first times we've had, you know, a Black and Puerto Rican superhero. So that's nice to see on the screen. Like, obviously, we talked about representation a little bit at the end of the last episode. Mm-hmm. We were talking about The Little Mermaid and, you know, setting the world ablaze with that movie. Mm-hmm. So I like that. And then the last thing for me was just like the stakes. I liked the plot, which I'll get to a little bit in my cons, but I liked that the stakes were super high, and you know what Miles is fighting for at the end of the movie is, I liked it. So the storyline as well was good, but mainly like the plot and what's at stake for him is like the best part for me.
Didn't you like that?
Also the cast. I love the people who were voicing it. I like to hear Issa, like, you know, I like to hear Jason Schwartzman's character. I think he was Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Rachel Dratch was like the counselor. So it was cool, like hearing like little voices and, you know, just how many people actually contributed to making this movie.
I was gonna say also, so didn't you like though? And I know how I was saying style, I literally meant stylistically, but the style of like, you saw New York, but you saw like hip hop, right? You saw like the Jordan 1s that he's constantly wearing, right? Like
and
just
they
all
those.
of that, just the music, right?
Yep.
All of that
you felt
really
the
cool.
Brooklyn, I think they're in. I don't know the boroughs. Sorry, guys. I'm from LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt very Brooklyn. It feels. You're on the subway. You're like, it's a lot of that. You're in the bodega in the first opening scene.
Straight up. Yeah.
So you do get that New York vibe. It's a city that I could not survive. I'll just say that because New York is wild to me. But you do. You get very New York. Yeah, you're in it. And then even the diversity and of that. So it's perfect. Yeah. So they did a good job. Shout out. But when there's good, there is unfortunately bad. We are going to have to get into some of the cons here. And I'll start on the cons. Just off top for me, I'm sorry.
I already know what you're going to say.
Well, I think I know. You know what I'm going to say first.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that first.
Okay.
I'm going to go with this. I know we already know.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to go first off top is like, I just did not like the animation style. I kept waiting for it to like switch, and I was like, "What's going on?" Like I don't like the kind of muted, like paint stroke type animation that was going on. Was it not weird?
No, I just literally was.
No, you were saying that, like how you like there was Lego, and then we was just, and I was like, okay, I thought that was just because Marvel do some cutesy comic book flip at the front.
Was all in
so
the movie.
so I thought it was just like joke, and then it never flipped out. So I was like, oh, because I don't remember the first one. I know I watched some of it. When we watched it on the stick, I had seen the first one. And I thought the animation was different. It was more like that Incredible style. But this I was not rocking with this. I was like. It looked like paint strokey, and look, I'm not an animator, and I'm not trying to tell y'all how to do your job. It just was off to me. Like, I know this is a style, it's a thing, but I was just like, okay, I don't like the, like, muted kind of cut, like, dull colors, like, I didn't like it. It wasn't, like, lively. I need, like, if we're talking animation, I need Toy Story animation, like, Incredibles animation. That's kind of what I like. This was, like, it wasn't it. So I'm just watching the movie the whole time like, this is kind of weird. So it was distracting. It was distracting from the movie. So that's one thing. And then the next thing, it was just way too long. And I knew that's the one you knew I was going to say. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes, and you felt every minute of that 2 hours and 20 minutes. There was times I opened up the IMDb app, and I was like, how much longer do I have to go? I did, and I'm sorry. And usually... when it's this long, but it doesn't feel like it, you can get away with it. But the fact that I felt it and I checked my phone and I brought out my phone and I was distracted doing other things like looking on my phone, that's a problem. That means you failed to entertain me, and it wasn't good. So it's not that it wasn't entertaining, it was that the plot and the actual reason for the entire movie happened about an hour into the film. Once he goes, without giving it away, the plot happens in the middle, like hour in, when he finally gets to the universe that the Spider Girl is from. That's when the whole movie kicks off. And you would think, oh, that happened like 5 minutes in? No, ma'am. No, sir. Because they still that happened a good hour in. But what did they, though? Because I was like, you set up that he has a mom and dad, that he was lying and cutting class. It's like, you could have gave that to us along the way, because that was the whole first hour, and then the argument at the parties, like it was a lot that could have been chopped. So no, I don't think so. I don't think a lot of the things that they showed us was necessary. So for me, it was just the animation and the fact that it was too long, and the plot started way too late into the movie. We're an hour in, and I was like, oh, that's what this movie's about. That's literally. I was like, oh, here we go. An hour and a half in, literally. Blair, go. Take it.
So I just want to say, I don't have many cons, but I want to say this.
And then, there is a big one without spoiling it. The end.
Yeah,
the end is a problem. The end is a problem.
So that's where I'm about to go.
Go ahead.
Right?
Go.
That's my con. So I'm watching the movie.
That's your only. Okay, go.
I'm watching the movie, and I'm sitting here going, dang, how are they gonna wrap this up? Right? Like, I'm watching, and I'm like, okay. Like, I'm thinking about literally what Sydney just said. I'm like, okay, so we're talking about, wow, we just got to the universe. I don't know what time it is, but I know it's got to be like an hour 30. Dang, they're like getting ready to get into this fight. It's like an hour and 50. Mm-hmm. How are they?
And that fight was long.
Right. I'm like, damn.
Oh, I'm sorry. The fight he's talking about when they get to this universe.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you this fight was the longest recorded fight in the history of fights.
No, it's not. Because
I'm sitting
Star
here
Wars
like,
and you went to sleep.
Yes. This is the second longest fight.
You and Mom both said they still fight.
Star Wars was the long, and what was that, number one?
I don't know what Star Wars it was, but me and Dad was watching, and you and
they locked it on.
And y'all woke
this
up.
This was look. We not Star Wars heads here at the Slate Laced Productions. We not. Mm-hmm. Sorry. So we apologize in advance. But for some reason, our father rented a Star Wars 1, 2, 3, Return of the Jedi. We don't know.
It wasn't
the Force Awakens, don't know. Okay? And they had some fight, and the movie was dry as can be. We just bored out of our minds watching this movie. And this fight, I went to sleep, woke up, it had to be 15 minutes, nodded off a bit, woke up, I said, they still fighting? Went right back to sleep. So, sorry, this Spider-Man one is the second longest fight, but go ahead, continue.
So I'm just like, how are they gonna close this thing up? They're really running out of time, right? And I'm like, yo, like, the character hasn't gone through the full, like, arc yet, right? And I know that this movie is all about great filmmaking, right? So I know that they're gonna answer our questions. They're gonna do these things for us, right? And we're getting towards the end, and I'm like, dang, wait, are they not gonna give it to us, right? And so then that becomes my gripe. Without giving it away, it's like, I'm like, dang, are they really about to go fast 10 on us? And we gotta get a whole nother movie to get that answer? That's crazy, right? Because I'm like, y'all made us wait 5 years for another film.
It's been 5?
2017.
Dang, that's crazy.
It's 2023, right?
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm like, so we wait 5 years to get another. I'm like, are you telling me that right now you guys are just now writing the script? Or are you telling me that, like, it's almost done and y'all just kind of ran them both back to back, you know, because like I said, there's a lot of effort that is going into this film, right? So I don't want someone to rush it just to get another cash grab, right? To turn around and make another $1 billion off of this film, and they're just going to give us something, right? Because then now you're going to ruin the way that I view things for you know, Mr. Santos and all of, you know, the Marvel headquarters, right? Where I'm just like, dang, y'all really just make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 films just to continue to get money. It's not about making good films, right? Because like I just said, in the animated department, that's what we do, right? Like, you care about filmmaking, you know?
Yep.
And so I was like extremely disappointed with that, right? And that is my biggest knock on this whole film. It's just what I said right there, right? That is the only negative thing I have to say. Because like I said, if you tell me it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? And like from what we said, if we went through everything we just went through, but at the end we got the answer, the 2 hours and 20 minutes is perfect. But the fact that you sat me through 2 hours and 20 minutes and didn't give me the answer,
yep,
I'm upset.
And the sad part is, like, the end was literally the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
So if they would have just executed right, chopped down some of the fluff, and got us to the midpoint, the plot point, and then got us to that end, I'd have been like sitting here today like, great film. Phenomenal. Because the end was lit.
Yeah.
Literally. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm tired now.
Yeah.
It's now 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I have a problem. Yeah. And I know more about his parents' anniversary party than I do about, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it just, it was too much.
And I'm watching, right, and I'm like, yo, we're running out of time. No way. They're like in the middle of a fight. Wait, we don't have time. What is going on? We're getting ready to run. Yep.
Yeah, so.
And everyone was hot because my theater was packed. Because I went Friday night. Like, I went when it dropped.
So did I.
My theater was hot.
Maybe 2 days after you. Because you recorded, you had just seen it, right? When we recorded, you had just seen it.
Yeah, and I.
So I saw it 2 days later, and it was annoying. People, I don't like people in the theater. I go by myself, so people
Yeah.
have no etiquette. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So, yeah, people were there, and then at the end, people were like, what? So
people like, what? No way. Are you serious?
it was shocking. It was shocking.
Yeah.
So that's it for your cons, right? Anything else? So to recap, there were a lot of pros. Blair likes the way, the style of the animation. We like the overall storyline. We like the character himself, Miles Morales, the people voicing it, the diversity of the movie, and it's just a good film, and it had a good direction, I'll say, and it had a great great message, great ending. But unfortunately, like for me, the fact that it was so long, that we took so long to actually get the ball rolling and actually tell us why we're in the theater to watch this movie, and then just the end, kind of the way it happened, knocks it down some points for me. But let's hear what the peeps got to say, because they loved this movie. And when I say they loved it, I'll start with Rotten Tomatoes. It is 96% on the tomato meter with a 95% audience score. So the critics loved it a percent more than the audience did, but 95 and 96, that's insanity. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last movie that did that, like kind of equal audience score. I mean, I can't think of it right now. Obviously, we've done some 96% on this show. But yeah, to have that, woo! They loved it. And then on IMDb, it's a 9.0. I mean, Blair, you kind of probably would agree with that, right? To me, it's outrageous. Like, that's insane. Like, what did I just watch? Like Shawshank? I don't understand.
Yeah, so to me, it's top 10 greatest animated films ever.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Top 10 for sure.
That's very high praise. But while we're on that high praise, let's get into the Slate rate, the only rating that matters. Blair, 1 to 5 entertainment.
5.
1 to 5 originality. A little bit of a tricky one, it's being a sequel, but still, I mean, I feel like
4.5.
Okay, so you got it at 9.5. You right there with the peeps of people.
Yeah.
And the critics.
Amazing movie.
For me, and I'm not even trying to be like, I can't.
Amazing movie.
1 to 5 entertainment for me. 3. And I feel like that's a little bit high, to be honest. For me, people, don't come at me in the comments. Originality, I mean, it's a sequel, but I do think this is an original Spider-Man character. Mm-hmm. The Peter Parkers have been white as can be for how many years, they went with this animated style, a new type of animation too, at that. So I got to give it some points for originality, giving the kind of Black dad, Hispanic mom, all that. It's original. It's original plot. I'll go 4 on originality. So I got it at 7 out of 10. Blair has it at 9.5 out of 10. Yeah. Obviously, Blair was gonna look. This was his style of film.
Yes, but I mean, for you to, I don't know. I just don't want you to tarnish really what it is.
Right? I know, and I don't want to either because
it's just a good film.
Yeah, and this is your movie. So overall, I'll say if you're into Marvel, go see it. Even if not, so you're gonna enjoy yourself. I don't know, because I'm thinking about people like me, they might not feel it. Go.
So here's what I want to say.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got 90 episodes here. If we were to compile a list of all the films we have reviewed over these episodes, right? If you had to make a top 5 of the best films that we have reviewed and rank them in order, right? You would have to say that number 1 would be either this or Parasite.
Yeah, I think we probably both gave 10 out of 10s on Parasite.
So that's what I'm saying. So you would have to go, okay, Parasite 1.
I don't even really remember what we did, but yeah.
This is 2. Maybe Us is 3.
Any of the Jordan Peeles.
Us is 3. But that's my point, right? Like, so it's like, I know what you're saying, but
this ain't up there with Us.
It's better than Us, but the point being is everything that we've seen, right? that it's right there to me.
But I think we both deeply
it's
believe in our ratings that we have given, and we just have different styles. We got different tastes, unfortunately, because it's not even touching
Sydney.
It's not touching us. It's not touching Parasite. But I think to some degree, you do have to kind of be into the Marvelness of it all. You do have to be a little bit. You have to kind of like this kind of movie. Because I'm thinking about the casual viewer, like, you'll be interested, but you're not going to rate it super high. You're not going to go tell people, hey, go check out that Spider-Man. No. I just thinking people like me that don't just rock with this kind of stuff, I don't think so. But I try to be fair. I think the 7 it's very original. And I think that 7 is kind of fair, but I think go see it. Because overall, it's a film that's going to turn some heads. I couldn't give it a 10.
That to me, that's our top 3. From what we've rated, it goes in
but we've also done a lot of duds.
That's your fault.
I just be picking what was new. For like at least a whole 3-week stretch, I was just picking what was the latest drop on Netflix.
Yes. Yeah.
So we really was just going recent. So it wasn't necessarily like I'm trying to see this. It's just like, no, it's on Netflix tonight. Like, let's check it out.
Yeah.
Because we've seen some trash, unfortunately. But obviously, I'm seeing a ton more movies. Mm-hmm. I already have one in mind that I told Blair to go check out, so we'll have more reviews for you very soon. We'll probably be talking The Blackening next, which I'm excited for Blair to check out. But again, this is a classic example of this is going to be my style. Blair might not feel the same way. But
dang, so awesome. You got it better than A Quiet Place Part 2, or no?
Yeah, Quiet Place Part 2 was fire.
No. I still don't have it better than that.
Yeah.
I still got Spider-Man under Quiet Place.
This is not it. But also, we got to touch on a couple more movies. There's a bunch of things in theaters, but nothing super exciting. Blair, anything you kind of got your eye on?
No, not anymore. That was it.
And then just have some theater etiquette, guys. Like, before we wrap up here, when you come to the theater, please turn off your cell phone.
Please.
If it's a premiere, we're trying to hear the dialogue. Can you shut up? Because especially with The Blackening being what it is, it was a black audience that was supporting, which is great. We got to support, black art. But sometimes we have the worst kind of etiquette, and I'll get into it a little bit more. My viewing experience when we review the movie. But I just want to say I'm disappointed in how we showed up to this movie. Anything else, Blair, before we wrap up?
Invisible Man.
It was fire, yeah.
I still got, so I've compiled the top 5 now. You ready for it before we get out of here?
Yeah.
So it goes Parasite 1. Mm-hmm. It goes Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. Then it goes Us 3. And then it goes Creed 4. And then I got Invisible Man 5.
Creed's up there? Creed ain't even up there for me.
No, Creed was good.
Creed was good, but
Mom and Dad probably looking at you crazy right now for not putting it up there.
I don't think they liked Creed that much, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Creed was good, but it wasn't that phenomenal. And you didn't even see.
I did not say that.
You didn't even see the first 2, so that's odd that you liked it that much.
No, Creed was fun. No, but I also know I would like Creed 1 and 2. They're up my alley, like we just said. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah. It's a good list. We've done some good movies. We've done a lot of duds. I think we've done more duds than good.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Ending Things, The Rental. Yeah.
The Rental was kind of good to me, but I'm thinking of Ending Things. Holiday was horrendous. But again, that's when we was doing the seasonal movies, though. So, yeah, we've done a lot of duds. Oh, but the handful of good ones have been fire, and we have given credit where credit's due. Yeah. And I think our deep dive on The Invisible Man was actually pretty good. So check that episode out.
That's a classic. That's
the little compare and contrast. Yeah, a tale of 2 invisible men.
I want to say that was like episode 13 or something like that.
Yeah. We've been chugging along.
Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit of Slate Laced Sports, because I did forget about that, but I want to do that before we completely get out of here, because we have to touch on what happened. So we are in action, Slate Laced Sports. Mm-hmm. Blair, as you know, the Denver Nuggets have taken the crown. They have won in how many games, Blair?
They won in 5.
And whose prediction was that?
It didn't go in 7. Yes.
Yeah, that was my prediction.
But I didn't disagree with you on it going in 5. Right? I said I wanted it to go to 7.
Was it a want? Okay.
Yeah, I said I wanted it to go to 7. I understood that it was going to go to 5. Matter of fact,
we might have to roll the tape on this one.
I got you. Because I got you. Because I got 2 regulars at work, right? One of the regulars I always chop it up with, he was like, man, Nuggets in 5. He was like, if it went any other games, it would go 6 just because the NBA is going to try to make it go 6. And I'm like, man, I agree with you.
With these conspiracy the NBA making, like, I'm so tired of that narrative.
I mean, there's a lot of money on the line, but I'm not saying that they would do it, right? But down in my heart, right, I was like, in my heart, I wanted to go 7 because I want Jimmy to get it, right? And then I got another guy at work. He was like, hey, so I bet you $1, right, that it goes in 5. And I was like, I agree with you, but I'll take the bet. I'll take Heat in 7, right? Because it's $1, right? But I was like, I agree, it's gonna be done in 5. So if I agree,
did you have to give him his 4 quarters?
I don't think that
Did you give him his 4 quarters or what?
Nah, because he pulled up today, and I was like, oh, dang, you here today? Why didn't you tell me? Like, I'd have brought your $1. I didn't have any cash on me, so I couldn't give it to him. Damn. But yeah, so it was just, my point being is that I knew it was only gonna go 5. But I kept wanting it to go 7, and man, they just look so outmatched, that it,
the thing about hindsight, it's 2020. Blair over here like, yeah, I knew.
I'll pull up the tape. When we drop this I'll pull up the tape. I got you, because I'm in agreement.
Yeah, I mean, the Heat were outmatched. The Denver Nuggets were a complete team. They deserved it. They just looked like they had it from the beginning. They fluked up and lost the game on a game where they played terrible. The Heat barely won. On a game where they played terrible, didn't shoot well, the Heat won. Barely won. So that told me all I needed to know, that this thing was going 5. Jokic got the MVP, which he completely deserved. He was ready to get up out of there, but congrats to the Nuggets. To us, it's just another day.
Yeah, we'll be thrilled about it.
Yeah, and we'll be waiting to see kind of run it back next year.
I'm honestly just more so irritated with the Nuggets still having this obsession with the Lakers and not being able to not talk about the Lakers, right? Like, how are you having your parade and your celebration and your time of we won, and we still talking about the Lakers.
They did take a little shot at the Lakers. The Lakers are a blockbuster team.
But my thing is like, we ain't never said nothing bad about you guys, right? Like, we have never once said the Nuggets suck. We have never once said something negative about them, right? It's just like,
look, it's a lot of Modelos going around at the parades, all right? People out here acting crazy.
But my thing is too is that even Malone was like trying to add like all this Michael Jordan motivation, like you can put it in your pipe and smoke that, right? Like, it's like, dude, like even when the series was going on, it's just like no one's saying nothing about y'all.
But they were giving more press to the Lakers.
That's not. Look, when you're playing a team that's won 17 championships and you at this moment in time won donut, like it's just gonna happen. Right? And then he's trying to build this rivalry that just doesn't exist at the moment, right? Because so now the Nuggets have faced the Lakers 8 times in the postseason and they've won 1 time.
Yeah.
So the Lakers are 7-1 all time in playing the Nuggets in the postseason, and we're gonna act like there's a rivalry now?
Yeah. No, I get it. It's not a rivalry.
It's
the
not.
Lakers
it's
are
not
the better
there
team
yet. The
Denver was a better team this year, but it ain't no rivalry. Let's calm down with all that. Yeah. And Denver's not a dynasty. They are a team that won this year in 2023.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is I know Joker's coming back and he's going to be a problem and he's going to ball out. But is Jamal Murray really like that, as the kids say?
That's what we need to find out.
I can't. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Even low key, and you're going to disagree. Low-key with Austin Reeves, when he was doing his thing, I was like, is he like that? Like, let's see what he does in next year and the year after. Is he going to repeat this?
But he's been getting progressively better.
Yeah, but I'm like, is he him? You know what I'm saying? Like, we quick to give up these him titles for people that are... And I like this player, and I don't even want to do this, but Jeremy Lin. Like had that
it's a
meteor.
little different, but
A little different, but it's like he was that moment. He was that for a moment.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jeremy Lin because I like Jeremy Lin. I'm not saying that as a knock, and he is out the league right now. But I'm just saying, like, okay, so he had a season.
See, but
Jamal Murray had a season. I know Joker gonna come back balling, but Jamal Murray had a season. Michael Porter Jr. had a moment. Aaron Gordon had a moment. Are they coming?
Those guys are different, though. Those guys are different because they've been around for long enough. And so
I just want to see, like, let's pump the brakes on the who the new superstars are and relax because we don't know. All we've seen is one season post injury from him.
I think
give him some time. Let's see what he does when the target's on his back.
I agree with you on that, but I don't agree with the Reeves, right? Because Lynn was a Laker, but the Lakers were not quick to lock him up long term. Reeves is different because, like, you can kind of see that there's some stuff there that they are trying to lock up long term.
Well, I'll be excited to see what Reeves does next season. I'm just keeping I'm on Reeves watch.
And then I'm
Reeves
on,
and Wemby watch.
I'm on Draymond watch.
Draymond watch as well.
He might be a Laker.
I literally said that. Like,
I know, because him and that LeBron relationship.
Yeah, and he signed a clutch. He opted out. So he's looking for quote unquote
more money, or he's gonna go.
No, he's looking for terms that line up more with Steph. So he's looking for a 3-year guaranteed. Because I feel like his loyalty is to Steph, but if they don't give him that guarantee of 3 years, whatever money, he would go with Bron. So I think he's doing the Steph respect first, and then he'll dip out and go with LeBron if they offer him more. So yeah, there is that Dre of it all. But if we get rid of that, man, we can do some crazy things. The Warriors can do some crazy things.
Yeah,
but I think they keep that. I think they keep that core group together. That's my thought. But yeah, they could be moving. But just to say, I am on Reeves watch. Just to touch on that again. But yes, like Blair said, let's slide into the Warriors real quick. Draymond opted out, so from what I read, he's trying to line up with Steph's contract, which is like 3 more years with the Warriors. Obviously, Steph's going to be a lifer, but Draymond's looking for more money for 3 years. He's boys with Maverick as well, because he's on Clutch, and also Rich Paul. He's been signed to Clutch for a while. I think he both has that Lobos tequila deal that LeBron has as well. So they are the weirdest of friends, because how do they go from that rivalry of LeBron stepping over him, Draymond kicking him, getting him suspended, costing him a championship, to now best friends? I don't get it. I would probably be upset and have a chip on my shoulder, but it is what it is. We also promoted Mike Dunleavy Jr. As the new GM of the Warriors. He came out.
They did?
Yeah, Dunleavy Jr. is the new GM.
Duke product.
Yeah, he had a press conference that I didn't get to, but yeah, we'll see. I know he said that, without Draymond, we don't win championships, so we'll see what's going on that front pretty soon.
I mean, if they don't give him his terms, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah, so we'll see. But again, this is a tough year to get that promotion, because he's got a lot of career altering decisions to make, and I'm definitely not envious of him.
I'd be crazy if he goes somewhere else and gets a ring.
I would not doubt it, because I told y'all even when the Lakers got bounced, I was like, I still think y'all make the same run, next year. Now, do I think we're also going to be better, the Warriors, so it's going to be a little bit of an issue, but yeah, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. Also, we got to talk about the Ja Morant suspension. They showed a video that I thought was old news. Turns out he just flashed another gun. There's this guy on Instagram that makes reels. This white dude. Did you see?
Nah, I'm listening.
And when Ja Morant flashed the gun for the first time and issued the apology, he made a joke video where he was acting like Ja Morant, and he walked into the locker room like wearing a coat, and he was like, Jaren. Like Jaren Jackson's another player. He's like, look. And he had a gun. He's like, shh. And then not Devin Booker, what's the one that everyone hates? Dylan Brooks come over. He's like, what's so funny? He's like, Dylan, shut up, bro. Just get out of here. But it was so funny. He flashed. He was like, and Jaren was like, come on, bro. This video was so funny. And then someone's like, this aged perfectly, because he did do it again. I was crying. But anyway, Ja Morant just continues to play with his future, his life, his money, his pockets. The NBA came down with a $25 or
25 games.
Wow, it's late, guys. Sorry, 25 game suspension that he'll serve at the beginning of the season. Blair, your thoughts on that? I mean, this dude's just got to be better. He has to understand that he's a role model.
Not enough.
Not enough. Ooh, hard.
25 games is not enough because
hot take.
Yeah, so you have to make a statement, right? Sometimes you have to take something away from somebody, right? No matter how difficult it's going to be. And for him, he clearly is someone that doesn't listen, right? He's having the identity crisis where he thinks he has to be one thing that he really never was, right?
Yeah.
And that time comes in a lot of people's lives, right? Where you think that you're something that you're not because you always want to be something that you're not, right? It's fascinating to try to be something, right? Essentially that you're not, right? Like It's just something that we all struggle with, right? The issue is that he's struggling with it and it's front page news because he's the franchise player for a team, right?
Yep.
I can struggle with an identity crisis and nobody knows me, so it's not necessarily a big deal. But the fact is, for him, since it's such a big deal, he has no choice but to figure it out on the fly. The thing is that since he's not figuring it out fast enough, he's going to be out of the league before he really figures it out. And at the end of the day, what he really needs to just figure out is none of this matters. You're a guy that plays in the NBA. You are responsible for a lot of people's futures around you, right? The moment that you go, they go, right? Like, you have the opportunity to put them on, their family members on, and you have a chance to build your future and your legacy for everyone else that comes after you, right? And you do not want to be a guy that could have been, right? You do not want to be the guy that was trying so hard to be something that he wasn't, to try to impress a small population of people that aren't necessarily, providing for him financially, right? And so, all that to say is just like, you got to let that persona go. It's not who you are. And I get it, when you listen to certain artists, right? They put you in sort of that sort of mood, right? But the thing is that if you're gonna do that stuff, that's fine if you do it in the comforts of your own home. But the moment that you go to a strip club and you do it, or the moment you decide to go on Instagram Live and record it, right? When you're someone who's gonna get 14,000 to 100,000 people on a live watching, that's an issue, right? So it's at the end of the day. Just, all I can really say to him is just like, figure out who you are. And the thing is that you know who you are, right? And you just have to be that guy, right? Because at the end of the day, pretending to be tough when you're not tough is no really need for it, right? Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want is someone to really check you who is tough. And then you get embarrassed because you get to find out that you really were not tough, right? And then you get exposed, and then now you really have true identity crisis, right? And then you're on suicide watch and all this other stuff. So anyways, not to make it so depressing.
Yeah.
But the point being is that he has to figure it out right now. This whole I'm going to therapy and all of that is baloney, right? Like it's not real. It's not a thing. He's just saying that to get the media off his back. Yeah. At the end of the day, I know what his problem is. Most African American males who are anywhere between 12 and like 38 have an idea, right? Or have been through it at some point in time, right? Even the older cats who are in like their 50s understand it as well and have been through it at some point in time, right? Like, what he's going through is not new. He's just in front page news. That's it. And he's got to figure it out right now, or he will not be in the league in 5 years.
Yeah, this whole him seeking help thing was a great PR spin from his team. Like, he went to some rehab for 3 minutes. Like, I think Shannon Sharp said, a drive-through rehab center? Like, it was nothing. We're not shocked. He's just got to do better, know better, do better. You know right from wrong. Fix it, or you're going to be out of the league, like Blair said. Another topic to shift gears here. Our guy Shannon Sharp is leaving undisputed.
Yeah, he did his last episode the other day.
I mean, He's gonna be a missed voice. I feel like he brought that energy.
Mm-hmm.
He was going head to head with Skip. I mean,
I don't watch the show anymore now.
Yeah,
unless Skip's talking Cowboys, I'm done.
It's no reason to even tune in. I don't know who. They're obviously going to bring someone in. It has to be a debate format.
Well, they saying it's like probably LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, I don't know him. Sorry.
But he's on what's it called? That show now. Well, he obviously is a football player.
Oh, Get Up, the little.
But yeah, he's on the one with what's his name, Aiko.
Emmanuel Aiko. Yeah, Echo.
Yeah. Yeah, mom likes him.
He's a little dicey here and there, but. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the same. Obviously, I have to bring someone in. It's more of Skip's show anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Shannon Sharp did his thing. I don't know if it had anything to do with that interaction that they had. They did have a flare-up.
1,000% did.
Fight.
1,000% did.
That was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen. You know, Skip basically said he was trash. Literally, this is not an exaggeration. That his Hall of Fame career didn't mean anything. But then, I don't even know if Skip really apologized. It was more like Shannon Sharp met with the executives and I probably was like, I'm dipping. Because I don't even remember Skip really apologizing for that. But he crossed the line trying to defend Tom Brady, who's like his favorite athlete of all time. But yeah, it's good to see Shannon go and get more of what he deserves, because I know his Club Shay Shay podcast is popping off and all that stuff. So we're not worried about him, but we wish him good luck. And it is going to be like a missed morning voice. It's almost like up there with like losing if Stephen A left. Yeah. And I was also telling Mom that the Stephen A podcast is fire though, because he'd be talking about all the topics that he wouldn't talk on the show.
He'd be talking about what's his name, all the porn stars and strippers.
Yep.
Zion.
Yep. So shout out to both those voices. They'll be missed. They will be missed for sure.
I mean, so the biggest thing that I noticed about that is like, so Skip did put him on, right? Gave him the opportunity. But it's all about what you do with the opportunity. And so he took the opportunity, he ran with it, and he really just built himself into a household name outside of his football career. So at this point in time, he owes Shannon Sharp owes him nothing.
Exactly.
Right? I've done 7 years. You disrespected me. I'm out of there. I'm going to go take, my talents elsewhere, right? Because it's always the opportunity met the preparation, right? He was prepared for this moment. He was ready. He went out there. He killed it. He did what he was supposed to do. He could have been locked in for another 3 to 4 years, but he really just didn't want to do it because they were at odds or whatever and they wasn't getting along. And so now he's on to doing different things, and it's like, yo, I put you on. Yeah, you did. But I'm supposed to show up every day and continue to get disrespected by you? I'm like, no, you don't want to apologize about it? Okay, well then, on I go.
And maybe he did, but from what I've seen, he didn't. So, yeah, that's just kind of even more pathetic after you cross, like, a major line. You're not even supposed to get that worked up and heated on national television. Yeah, it's a debate show, and you give it your all, and you're trying to drive your point home. But the fact that you got that out of control, like, the man's also getting a little senile. Like, I think I had messaged you this a long time ago. Like, Skip kind of losing it, because he was tripping and getting real personal over another topic. And I was like, dude, like, this is a show. Like, these athletes, what are they doing for us in real life? You know what I'm saying? Like, we ride so hard for these players and these individuals. Like, we don't know them.
Yeah.
Like, they're not affecting our life. Like, we just do it for entertainment and root for a team. So, calm down a little bit. But, yeah, he's crossed more lines than that one that just happened to go viral. Last topic, though. We already have a blockbuster trade incoming. It has been rumored that Bradley Beal of Washington Wizards is going to be traded to Phoenix, and he's going to join the likes of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Team no defense.
That's how you feel? Team no D?
Yeah, who's playing defense?
I don't know.
Where's the bench?
I have no idea. The bench is gone. But Colin Cowherd did say, well, let's just play it. He was going off about the old...
He likes it.
Exactly. He was going off about the bench thing. He said, why are we worried about the bench? He said, when you're selling a house, you're not worried about the bathroom. You're worried about the kitchen. So, exactly.
And he was like, we're not worried about the garage. You can't sell the garage. You can't sell,
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know you saw that. You really watching Cowherd?
Colin's probably my favorite.
Really? I watch Colin all the time.
Are you... Let's see. Are you subscribed? Because I definitely am. All right, so... We'll see. But
We have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. Yes, that's a really good basketball team. I hear this. What about Phoenix's bench? You know who wasn't good off the bench in terms of productivity? Miami. Celtics, Sixers. Denver was middle of the pack. This is a perfect fit. When anybody laments Phoenix's bench, A, it wasn't as bad as you think. Go look it up from last year. And secondly, who rolled to the NBA playoffs? Was it Jokic, Murray, and Gordon, or the Nuggets bench? Give me a break. Bragging about your bench in real estate is like bragging about your two-car garage. It ain't selling the home. The kitchen is.
So, I mean, I agree with him here. And then just quick on reason why I like Colin Cowherd is just like because of his storytelling and the way like he'll make points, just like
but he also
using every day. But I like that he goes into the outlandish trades and stuff, and that's also why I follow Bill Simmons too, because he does the same thing, like with like mock trades and these outlandish takes, and then the fact that he's like a diehard Celtics fan and they cause him pain. It's just funny. But yeah, so I like the trade. As far as, like, we're going to see a super team and see where they go. And, yeah, Bradley Beal's not the Bradley Beal he was a couple years ago when he really kind of made a name for himself and broke onto the scene.
It's not even that for me.
But, yeah, he's still a dominant player. He's still an impactful player. And
they got 3 guys right now.
And, yeah, literally going, I mean, they're going to be running and gunning because Booker is just getting better and better. As much as I've been a fan. The last couple of years, he's been kind of annoying, but you can't deny what he's doing on the court. And then Kevin Durant is Kevin bleeping Durant, as he said so himself.
You know who I am.
Yep. Your take?
Well, yeah, I like Kevin Durant. You already know that, but it's just...
No, as far as the team.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You just worried about the defense and
I'm worried about the defense.
The
and
other things that are going to slip up.
Yeah, right. So everyone's saying they'll probably move Ayton to try to get a couple more seasons.
Don't send him to the bed. unless he go on the sack down, because we don't want that toxicity.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
that is garbage. Send him.
They don't have.
Anyhow, that's where you need to send him. Good.
That's where you need to go for sure. They just don't have anything, right? Like you got those 3 guys, and you don't have a point guard, right? Like all 3 of them kind of like have to have the ball in their hand.
Ball dominant, yeah.
Yeah, but like no one can really facilitate necessarily. So that's like their biggest issue. Then they don't have 2 other guys on the floor right now that can really do damage or really help out. Then you look at their bench and then it's empty, right? And it's like, that long term, you're not going to be able to play 82 game season with all of these guys playing 38 minutes a night, right? So you're just running into a lot of issues right now. Yeah. But I know it's early on. Obviously, come October, November, they'll have the rest of the lineup, and hopefully they got a bench. And if they got a bench and they have a little bit of depth, right, then I believe they will go deeper. If they don't, I think they're going to go to the exact same position that they were this past season, and they'll lose in the second round.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how far they get. I don't see them winning it, even though they signed Bradley Beal. I still see them exiting pretty early in the playoffs. Like Blair said, they're all ball dominant, and a lot of the way it went this season was like, okay, Devin, it's your turn. All right, it's my turn. Okay, it's your turn. And you can't play basketball like that. It's got to be a free-flowing offense to be successful.
I mean, shoot, Booker and Beal are the exact same.
Yeah, so we'll see. Good luck to them. Glad it's not my team. But yeah, anything else sports-wise, Blair, you wanted to touch on?
No, I'm just curious to see where Chris Paul actually ends up now. People are saying he might be back at the Clippers, and I've also heard he might be a Lakers, so we'll see.
Yeah, and poor Chris. He didn't know he was getting traded till he heard on the internet. So that's always fun. But that's how they do you. It's a business, and they always say that. Anything else on the movie front before we leave? We are going to be back with movie reviews, of course. We're going to touch on some footwear news because I got some stuff that we need to talk about on that front as well. But for right now, it is the Slate Laced Game. We out.